Welcoming you back to Crypto's GCS News, baby dolls. We are moving through a weekend where we had deep capitulations of BTC and the whole crypto industry, of course. A lot of us are screaming bear market confirmed. Everybody's saying it's totally over. The whole market is basically split in a nutshell. This cycle so far, it could be over, but maybe it might be over, but this cycle so far, it's been Bitcoin up, and now Bitcoin's starting to come down. Altcoins never moved. Okay, so everybody is torn. People who believe the entire industry is just Bitcoin, pretty much a lot of Bitcoin maxis or everybody just going off its price action. That's where it's brought us to today. They are literally saying, oh, it's all over because everything else is worth zero. But these are the times that make you think about what the future holds, because if we're looking at something like Ethereum and BTC, friends, Ethereum, I know a lot of people see this as like super weak. This is Ethereum on the CME, but it's come right back into these order block stuff. And it does make you think, friends, because you can see a lot of information when you're looking at the ETH-BTC ratio, which even before we look at BTC, this is what I just want to show you. This is the ETH-BTC ratio. And it reminds me exactly what happened here. And I have the US Fed balance sheet showing you as well. They started increasing it up. Okay, this Ethereum had a massive rally. Okay, so when they started increasing, they stopped QT. No one was even looking at it or thinking about it, right? But I mean, like, because Ethereum had like gone up an enormous amount, actually had a proper rally in that run. It took a while for it to basically stall out and go up. So here we are again. They are literally stopping QT in like 10 days. And the ETH-BTC ratio is going to make us wonder, right? Is this just a fake out? Okay, is it going to be a fake out where, you know, it goes green? This is what Bitcoin maxis and everyone believes. They believe we are here, that this thing's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and it's all over. You can see that right here, okay? But I don't think so. I mean, like, look at this Ethereum spot ETF. Ethereum's got big stuff, and increase in transaction count, focusing on layer one. It's making all the improvements that are coming. We have StableCoins super cycle. I mean, like, friends, even Ethereum wasn't even upgrading anything at all. The hypersonic speed of stablecoins coming into the industry really does make you wonder the type of crackles that everybody else is smoky G-ing. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin monthly candle now. We are right here back to the channel. I just want to show you something, friends. Nobody in the industry has my channel here. Literally no one. I think maybe I saw CTO Lorison. I think maybe I seen literally. I think no one has this. I don't know why. No one has this. Actually, the only chart everyone really has is no one's looking at it like this at all. The one that they're looking at is, this is the weekly chart. They're looking at, okay, next level is pretty much 74K, 75K. That's the next level everyone is looking at, okay? It is funny, right? Bitcoin goes down to around 74, then it comes back around 80. I wonder, man. I wonder if there's going to be another one where it actually goes up, and that'd be funny if this happens. But yeah, a lot of people, obviously, friends, everybody's there's not even like, the fear is just Bitcoin leverage Ponzi buyers. I don't think there's this fear. There's no fear in altcoiners. And I was like, what? It's been crap for 4 years. You're telling me it's going to get worse? Like, it's already been bad. We've already like got nuclear winter for 4 years. You say, oh, but it's going to keep getting worse. And you're like, oh, whatever. Like, it's apathy. It's apathy. It's apathy. It's depression. That's what's pretty much everyone's looking at. So this marks Bitcoin being down 34% as well. And we have 4-year cycle FUD, the Miski index removal FUD. We have bear market confirmed. Obviously, we have the Twinkie bears. He's saying bear market confirmed, bear market confirmed. I think I saw a post from Uncle Bobby as well. He thinks stocks might make one final push at the beginning of next year, and then Bitcoin does a lower high rally, which ultimately fails. I think he's just going to wait and see for the reaction, what comes through. That's why I sense it's really interesting, because interesting and stressful. There's no free lunch. Let me just tell you why. If we go back to 2021, okay, what happened here? Why did everything dump here? Well, it was just, you know, this is where it's tough. Okay, up here you had PMI. It was at 60. It did hit 60. All right, and now it's rolling over. And here, the US Fed major loser Powell came out and he said, look, we're going to have to stop the QE. We're going to have to raise interest rates. Okay. And he says we're going to do them in May next year, pretty much. Okay. So he literally was giving everyone a 5-month warning. But crypto already started topping out. Okay. They started topping out here. Stocks are still making a new all-time high here. But crypto is already down, like you're already down 75% in your portfolio by the time it came. 60 to 75%. But your PMI was coming up from 60, which I just want to show you the chart again, friends. Very important. This is where we were. All right. And now what I've actually done is I have now overlaid the PMI with the chart. So you can actually see it, friends. So this was, we've expanded, and then PMI, you can actually see it on the left here. Look at this. PMI goes, friends, 55, 58, 60. This is wild, man. I think it peaks at 64. But by the time we had peaked out, friends, here, when they said, okay, we're going to have to hike rates, the PMI was 60. Okay, so this is why it's like, okay, you got to think about this. So the market constituents, crypto repriced higher. And with that repricing, had a lot of, I guess you call them weak hands. Just people buying tops, right? This is just market stuff. A lot of you actually came in during that time. You didn't know that. You're just like, hey, because excited, things are moving up, right? Now you're a mega strong hand. Mega strong hand, okay? That's what happened out here. So, look, I know it's in hindsight, but in hindsight, friends, you can go back. You can see why. You're okay, now you know why you're worried. Because we went from low PMI environment, and then the business cycle went up 60. So you think, okay, crypto is an extension of the business cycle. So the PMI went 55, 57, 58, 60. So people had money out there in the economy spending, you know, and we participated in the Pulse chain and PulseX sacrifice and everything out here. So basically, you're looking around and you're like, hey, I think some of these people are believers, but there's a lot of people, they will probably sell unmanageable lows. They don't know what they're in for. Okay, that's what you could conclude. However, where we are now, you cannot say the same thing at all. But some people do say the same thing. What some people say is they say, no, retail didn't come in, but the weekend buying did come in the form of DATs. That's what some people are claiming. Well, actually, a lot of people are claiming. They believe that the cycle is going to play out. We do have weak hands. They just came in digital asset treasuries, which is basically them buying Bitcoin, Ethereum. They believe Michael Saylor, Tom Lee, the digital assets. That's what they're all saying, right? But during this time as well, okay, we have a Fed that's easing and QT that's stopping. So this is why everybody, of course, is like torn. They're like, wait a minute. The signals that started the bull last time, right, macro-wise, they are right in the early phases. But if you're going off the 4-year timing, it's time to get out. Okay? So, look, another way to look at it, maybe, friends, is as well, you have giant Bitcoin sellers who have distributed on everyone here, and there's been no retail follow-up in altcoins. So, what does end up happening? Does this is what we don't know, right? Does distributing a lot of Bitcoin, does that force the bear market for the whole crypto industry, right? Is that what it is? Or is the PMI heartbeat of the economy, is that going to have something to say in the future? And obviously, it's inconclusive. You don't know. That's why I've said it's a believer cycle. It's truly a believer cycle right here. It's literally, if you're still holding your altcoins, you've only heard bad stuff. They go, it's bad, it's never going that bad. You only heard that stuff. I want to be long with those people, dude. I want to be long with those people. I don't want to be long with people who bought digital asset treasuries. Oh, Bitcoin's going up just because Bitcoin strategic reserve. I don't want to be long with that, dude. I don't want to be long. Okay, I don't want to be long with the people who literally as well are in complacency when I show you the dangerous Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, I do not want to be long with people up here, dude. Okay, this is a monthly chart of Bitcoin dominance. This is, friends, this is the 12-month chart of Bitcoin dominance. We have people literally turbo bullish on Bitcoin and saying altcoins are going to zero. And literally, bro, you are in a 4-year uptrend, the longest in history, and you are the most bullish on Bitcoin you've ever been against altcoins. This is just extremely dangerous, like super, super extremely dangerous to me. Just seeing a setup like that, okay? And that's why no one's ready, because normally what happens is when we unwind, the liquidity goes back into Bitcoin. dude, what happens if this unwinds and stuff has to reprice in Ethereum and altcoins? See, no one's even given any probability to that. Okay, that's something to think about. Now, if we go have a look at the Nasdaq, this is the Nasdaq, friends. Nasdaq, what did it go down? 9.4%, I think, from the top out here. Yeah, 9% from the top. I don't know. No, obviously, no one knows where this thing is going to go. Has it popped? AI bubble. Everyone's talking about AI bubble. It is hard to look at this stuff. And like, because you know, friends, look at the Nasdaq, man, it's really hard to pick the top. Oh, it just does this all the time. And then like, oh, Trump tariff tantrum. Where kind of like scams everyone out here after Trump gets in. Okay. So, I think Uncle Bobby expects if stocks move into here, okay, this is into January, February next year, even if stocks do this, he thinks during this period, Bitcoin will be making a lower high. Okay, so I'm just showing you what, and by the way, this is, I'll be honest, friends, this is, I'm doing the sign across here, I promise you, and I'm gonna light the candle. I'm not joking. I've never in my life seen a full-on consensus with everybody and a strategy like this. I've never seen that, where everybody has a consensus to trade like that, okay? On the downside like this, on the downside, okay? You have heard when people say like, oh, I'm going to buy the news, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, light in the candle, of course, proof of candle lighting. That's the buy side, where it's like, oh, I'm going to buy on this, or when this gets released, I'm going to buy, right? So you're going to buy the rumor, sell the news, but I've never before seen like Twitter, YouTube, friends, every person, Uncle Bobby, my friend Carlin, Dark Scripter, every single person is literally planning to do the same thing, which is if they dare see a rally here, they're like, yeah, this is definitely going to fail like all the others. This, friends, this is a 10-period monthly moving average, but it's also around the 50-week. It's around here. So it would be the same as Bitcoin just going back to touching 92 to 98 max, okay? So pretty much if anything gets in there, they're telling you they're going to be selling it, getting out, because they're going to be playing for much lower. And it's not just one person, man, like everyone, even blockchain backer, literally everybody. Everyone, friends. Ben Copen, blockchain backer, literally everyone, man. I'm in shock. I'm like, whoa, everyone has the same strategy. If they see something like that, they're like, yeah, definitely a de-risking here. Okay, so of course it's going to be a critical moment. What happens? Are we going to get end of year of the snake and then everything fakes out? Right? I'm almost certain, friends, people are going to get out here and they're going to go like, listen, if Bitcoin goes up to 112, just rebuy. Otherwise, just get out here and do something like that. So that'll be interesting because we don't know what altcoins are going to be doing during that time as well. That'll be wild. That's why, friends, I'm hoping, and this is hope, right? Let's go back. Let me show you. OTHERS-btc. Okay, this is the monthly, yeah. I am hoping, you know how next month's going to flip green. Okay, so we've got just like 1 month. I am praying OTHERS-btc next month is like green like that. So what that implies is, as Bitcoin's gone to that 92 to 94K, altcoins are stronger. I hope we get that. I hope we get that. If Ethereum and altcoins are strong, and we hope that like ETH-BTC, right? This is ETH-BTC on the weekly. I hope so. You don't know if you're going to get it right, but it would be nice if ETH-BTC is doing that. Okay, because that would be like the sign, like, oh, altcoins are like leading on the way, because people are going to be in disbelief. Okay, it'll be totally, if that happens, right? No, they're not going to get in. They're not going to buy. No way. Everyone will be getting out, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll get back in when, like, you know, I'll buy back in depending on the Bitcoin move after that. Yeah, so friends, something in the economy has to turn. Like when I'm looking at everything, this big macro chart, this is copper gold ratio. Industrial metals, okay, it has this cyclical move. Like it is still bottoming out. Okay, it's literally still bottoming out. Because like, remember I told you, right? Remember, like, crypto is very new, speculative, highly volatile network effects, yeah? Think about network effects. Network effects, they're very fickle in crypto because it's digital. No one holds a gun in your head and says, oh, you got to stay in this network effect, right? Okay, when people don't like it, they just click out and they leave. They stop paying attention. But in stocks, it's different, right? It's not as fickle like that. But with stocks, you get less returns. I know it doesn't feel like that. That feels like you give more returns, but crypto gives you more, right? So that's why it's very important for us to have our ears close to the ground and our nostrils close to everybody we need to have a good sniff of the market. So we're like, okay, what type of people came in? Do I trust them not to sell if something drops 40%? Well, in 2021, there was a lot of JPEG buyers. I know it looks easy in hindsight, but you can see the PMI was up. And even you go back here, copper-gold ratio was up. Basically, the economy was doing well objectively. This is why it's hard, because if you spoke to people in 2021, nobody was saying things are good. They were saying, I'm stuck at home. I'm getting jabbed. There's blood clots. There's people are dying. Old people are dying. The inflation, everything's getting bad. Or they weren't talking about inflation. Like, oh, supply chain issues. That's how they were talking. They were complaining. But their actions in the market were showing they've never been more bullish on the future. Okay? That's why it's important not just to listen to what the words that are coming out of their mouth, looking at the actions. What are the ratios saying? The ratio of copper gold was saying, oh man, you really think you're gonna have a lot of cash for a long time. And guess what? That was a top. But look at this, friends. This is this copper gold ratio coming down here. What I like is it broke the low, which is what it was doing this every time it's downtrending. I like how it actually broke the low. So this is, friends, what I'm basically, well, look, this is why you just got to go through this. Okay? Remember, Warren Buffett, okay, he never sells at fair value. Okay, he doesn't sell at fair value. He sells at expensive. He holds stuff that he thinks, he just keeps holding and holding. And he doesn't try to predict what the economy is going to do next week, next month, next year. He doesn't predict the US Fed. So I'm just trying to use that basis. Well, I've always been using that basis for my thinking for crypto. So I'm thinking, well, look at this, man. Friends, this copper gold ratio and the PMI and consumer sentiment, which we'll go on through later, it's telling me these prices are dirt cheap. The people around are mega strong hands. You can't dilute the network effect away. They don't care about other fake utility. They don't care what the stock market does. They don't care. Friends, this is why everybody's also really poor out there and they're still long. Like, you cannot ask for a better setup. You can't. That's why it's I've got so much question marks in my head. You cannot ask for a better setup. There's no way to put it. You have the most diehard, it's like the Spartan 300 warriors. These people like sacrifice their lives. You cannot get more loyal than this. But you got to think about not just loyalty. What does that count for? But there's no weekends, man. There is literally zero weekends. There's zero gains to give up. There's zero, this is zero. There's nothing. There's nothing to give up. Okay, there's no one I'm worried about, you know? So, you know, you and I obviously navigating the sea of friendship out here on the Captain Friendship as well. This is Ethereum coming back out here on its monthly chart, back into this order block. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but like, there's just too many strong hands, dude. Someone's going to have to give. And look, of course, it doesn't mean, oh, everything must go up. It doesn't mean that. It's just, that's my strategy on average, you know? Also, I'm trying to think about, so this is Bitcoin's price action. Okay, we're pretty much dead here. I am trying to think about, friends, if every single person wants to sell, you know, the relief, they want to sell this resistance. They want to sell around here. This is where they want to sell this like tiny, I know it doesn't look like much, but this resistance up here, because they think everything's going to eventually roll over. You know, this even blockchain backer thinks it's going to do a triangle and then eventually roll over. Out here, I'm wondering what screws them. Okay, I'm wondering what screws them. I'm wondering because if everyone's getting out here, I'll just tell you something. Okay, this is just, I'm trying to remain unbiased as well. If everyone in the crowd is expecting this, all right, they're expecting that eventually, right? Like, they're expecting a relief and then like that to roll over even lower. Usually the price action, how it screws everyone is, this is what happens, friends. The price action, it doesn't go fast for them. All right. It does a very annoying, and I've been caught on short-term time frames like this. It does usually a very, very, very annoying, like very. I can't tell you how annoying this thing is. It's like this thing, friends. It gives you. I've had some nights. I've literally almost. I think maybe one night I did punch the wall. Just how these things came back. It was. The word manipulation doesn't even do it justice. Okay, but you're dealing on short time frames, and you know it's easy to happen. So you don't think, oh, I got manipulated. It's just how the market moves. But that's what it does. It does this absolute. I'm not joking. This absolute rubbish move. There's literally no way to get in because you're expecting, because you're trying to get short. You're like, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, and then it's just yes. I'm just showing you. This is what usually happens. It really pisses you off. and it might do something like this. Like, oh crap, something might change. And then maybe when year of the snake, right? So I'm just doing this on a shorter time frame. Maybe year of the snake comes out and at the very end, and then you have something like, and then everyone's like, oh, now the thing's gonna roll over. But yeah, so I'm just this is what I've seen this so many times. I don't know if it's gonna play out because the crowd changes in what they're gonna do, right? How they're gonna do things. But this is very, very, very. This is like I have friends. I have so much deja vu. I've got PTSD because I just remember things go down so much, and then it lets me out for some profit, and then guess who starts getting short too early? Me. This is when I'm trading spreads and stuff out here. It gets very, very, very annoying. Very, very annoying. Another clue to tell me why it might happen like that is because now, friends, we're just guessing squiggly lines. We don't know shit, but why? Another reason why a clue it tells me is a lot of people. I've checked in Twitter. Everyone's saying, "Look how bad it is. It's not even bouncing on a weekend. Look how bad it is. Like, oh, we're staying dead. There's no big bounty." So it's funny what they want. This is what they want. They want to see this because this fence to get long. They want to see this. They want to see a big rally, bang. They want to see that. They're like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna watch it more. That's what they want to see, something that's more actually even more vertical and aggressive than this. They literally want to see that because they're like, they're basically this is what everyone wants the same thing, right? But we might not get that. We might get this slower. They probably actually wanted something like this, more up only. But yeah, man. So this is what normally happens. Yes. Of course, it's outside of our control. I really hope. I hope it does happen. That's going to be quite interesting, right? And the most interesting thing will be to be watching Bitcoin dominance and the OTHERS-btc during that period of time. Okay. And remember, they are setting up for disbelief because disbelief is in I can't believe these crap coins are going up while we're in a bear market. It's obvious we're in a bear market. And they'll say QT ending is not the same as QE. So fingers crossed. But also, friends, as well, let's play some PUBG music for you and me. Now, I've completely accepted. Look, it could be all over. It could be all over. Let's say it. Let's get it out there. Yeah, it could be all over. It literally could. It could be all over. Total waste of a cycle, done nothing, and everything got destroyed. It could be over. I'm prepared. I'm ready. All right, you want to go garbage for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Yeah, it is. By the way, the people who said it's going to go good? Oh, don't worry, it's only going to be a year, friends. It's because they're going to do the same. This is why they think in their mind they're going to be able to do the same thing and make money, which is they're just going to buy Bitcoin. They're going to try get it on a weekly super trend flip. Okay, and that's why I've been telling you just these Bitcoin dominance. I'm telling you, something's going to go wrong with this plan. I know that because everyone has the same idea. Because literally, no one wants to touch an altcoin. No one wants to touch an altcoin right now. Okay, so I don't know how the plan is going to break, but it's going to break somewhere. Okay. Now we are going through the weekend. We have Eric Trump saying this is a great time to buy Bitcoin. I think someone did an analysis. He's done 11 times of this, and he's just his message.
What's a great time to buy? I say this to everybody, man. I hear from people every single day.
It's a great time to buy. Great time to buy. Yeah, there's not a signal or anything, but it just always goes down whenever it does this. There's no signal. But the whole question of next year is obviously got everybody spooked because next year's midterm year. All right. This year, so the year of the first year of US president. This is why things are actually different this time. The first year of a US president, Main Street, the whole main economy is meant to boom because he comes and he spends stuff. Okay, we didn't get that in 2025. We got snaked. Instead, Trump came out, and instead of doing this big spending stuff, there was a different quirky going on here. He did the China tariff tantrum that wasted 3 to 4 months. That psyched everybody out. Okay, and then we have major loser power remaining tight. That is very unorthodox for a first year of a president. But now we know why as well, friends. Remember, it wasn't time to roll over the debt. We thought it was time, but the debt is a 5-year rollover. So the interest rates are high, and they're just trying to get the interest rates low because they want to roll over the debt and do the spending stuff, which is coming anyway. They are doing the spending stuff, the big, beautiful bill stuff, okay? So that's why, like, it is, if there was like this, look, maybe what we're looking at are all these qualitative, really logical confluence signals which show, hey, yes, in normal circumstances, you get out at around the 4-year mark. If the PMI has hit above 55, you did see copper gold ratio, just the traditional Main Street cycle markers, Main Street economy markers go up, but they haven't gone up yet. So that's why you got to ask yourself, well, what am I holding for then? What am I even holding for? Well, but at least we can see a story. We can see, okay, well, there's a reason why it's delayed. We can see why it's delayed, okay? But also to play devil's advocate as well, people who say it's delayed, they think the economy is going to crack hard, Fed prints, and then they get to buy in free long. Okay, I know they all want that. That's why, friends, every single person believes, you know, that's why they always have, even this is the Bitcoin, the big moving average line. Everyone's saying, hey, you know, Bitcoin eventually making its way down to 55, 65. And they're saying, oh, yeah, you're going to have to print. You're going to have to print. Okay, it's just, you know, man, everyone's got the same plan. Something doesn't go to plan. Okay, so it will be fascinating, I guess, surviving the next few months. Tether, friends, has become one of the largest gold holders in the world, with stablecoins supercycle now confirmed. Remember, Tether make a lot of money. Stablecoins are big. Stablecoins are real. The economy of stablecoins, it's a crypto story as well. It's literally a crypto story. They are coming in. We've got over 350 billion. I think it's lost $1 or $2 billion. That always has this contraction, a couple of billion period during these times. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be all about Main Street. Main Street. You know, friends, I actually asked ChatGPT. This is weird. So even I'm in disbelief at the stock market, because I asked ChatGPT. I said, hey, can the PMI go up and stocks go sideways and down or down? And they said, look, there's been rare moments, but it can happen. But the times it did happen, it was when stocks have already popped and they're like 3/4 of a way through the recession part. Like we're talking GFC, the PMI starts going up like at the end of 2008, I think, or January 2008, but then the stocks bottom out 2 months later, right? So there's this tiny period, and the PMI is like way below, right? Because it's just how I'm like, I'm in even disbelief at this, but like even I think it's too high, and I don't know anything about stocks and these gaps and stuff that have to fill, but that's just me saying, oh, stocks are too high, stocks are too high. So, yeah, this has been, they call that K economy, right? How does it resolve? I don't know. That's why even they're going to try to give everybody the $2,000 dividend next year. Man, this thing's been one hell of a tester, hasn't it? It has been one hell of a tester all around. Cointelegraph keeps poking the XRP community, asking how low can XRP go? So all these traditional markers about stuff coming on here, friends. It is interesting as well. Even think about it, friends. Are you even like Bitcoin under 100K? No one cares. The sentiment's ruined. Bitcoin 99, 98. Yeah. And you wouldn't even trust the first poke if it had got to above 100. You don't care. You know what I mean? So it's showing this to me. It's showing this is another way to look at it. Okay. But I'm not saying not financial advice. I'm just telling you, if you're bullish for a bull market, like it might, I'm just saying it might be really nice for the risk takers who buy 81, 85, 87, 88, 90, 92, 94, 97. It might be up only for them, right? Because it's only purely strong hands. There's no degen stuff out here. So it's just something like just to think about. We're trying to suss out where's the pain point here for us, because everybody who's sold, they're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to bid 75, 55 because it's going there. And I'm like, man, this is weird. That's not bear market stuff, bro. Bear market stuff is someone says a number, like one guy says a number and they go, that's stupid. We can never go down there. We can never go there. You want to know what that number was in 2022? It was 20,000. Okay? I was here. All right? You were here, friends, as well. Everyone was here. Everyone was saying, nah, preposterous. We can't go down that low. Okay, that was it here. Where everyone's saying Bitcoin's going down below 20, going down to 20K, and it did. All right, everyone said no, that's way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, bang, and then everyone says, oh my gosh, it's over. Okay, what's that number here, friends? Just to tell you, friends, you know Jeremy Lafufu, some stock market guru. I'll play the video for you in the Yummy Update, friends. He's a stock market guy. he says, oh yeah, Bitcoin's 4-year cycle now. He says this thing could go down to 29,000 because of the 4-year cycle. So what he did is he goes, oh yeah, this thing dropped 75% from the top. You got to think about a guy with millions of stock followers. He's selling courses and like investing stuff. Stock, just one of the typical stock finance guys. Even he's talking about that. And like no one, does anybody feel anything just hearing that? It's just something in the picture doesn't make up. We have like a whole cohort of people who are saying, oh yeah, this thing's going to get way worse. It's going to be like, 75, 65, 55, 45, around that 200 thing. It's just, that's not bear market, man. Fans, bear markets, bear markets come when you've got all the buyers in and the thought of hitting a certain price, they're like preposterous. Can't get there, dude. No way. Can't get there. You just can't get there. That's why in my mind, I always felt like this cycle concluded somewhere like at Bitcoin 220, where someone says, guess what? We're going to go below 100. And they go, no, bro. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There's no way Bitcoin goes below 100. That is absolutely impossible. Okay, that's in my mind. That is, okay, worried about stuff. But with here, everyone's just like, oh yeah, we just go back down. Look at it all the way down here. Stock standard. Everything's garbage. That's why I also said, friends, I can... From everyone's ranges, I go, well, look, man, if we're really in a bear market, we're going to like 39. We've got to see a 3 in it because a 3 is like scary number, isn't it? Isn't it? Because like you're all saying 75, 65, 55, 45. I go, well, if those numbers obviously don't scare you because there's the cohort of people, everybody's clicked sell and clicked out. They're not scared about those numbers. They're happy to bid there. They're talking about that now, right? You got to remember, friends, in 2022, right? Let's go back again. I'm just telling you what happened, right? In 2022, friends, do you know like Dan Held? There are Bitcoin maxis. Dan Held's a Bitcoin maxi. There was a leaked DM from him, from someone out there. They leaked a DM from him in like, maybe I think he sent this message to this guy in like January. Everyone's having fears and stuff. And the guy said, he said to him basically, he goes, don't worry, Bitcoin can't go below 20K or something is really, really, really wrong with it forever. And guess what it did? It went down to 20K. It was the big fear number. Whoa, it actually went down. We don't have that here yet. We don't have that. What does that tell you, friends? It tells you there's no weak hands in, dude. There's not enough weak hands who have come into the crypto industry who's like, no, I can't go down that. No. Everyone's like, whatever, I sent it a 0. That means there's strong hands here. So this song and dance of this stuff, right? It's unresolved now, but I played out both scenarios. Okay, it's trash for another 1, 2, 3 years, whatever, man. It's been trash for 4 years, right? You notice the tops of the cycles end where it's been good for a year, but it was like, no, it's not that good for a year. Like, why? Because the most of the people who just got in, they've only gotten in the last 1 to 4 months at the highs. That's why they're like, no, it can't end now. You know what I mean? No one's even talking about it ending now, right? Bitcoin is now down 36% and Ethereum's down 46%. I want to cover this for you as well, friends. Bitfinex Whales. So just to share with you something, play some angel music. Okay. Bitfinex is an exchange, right? It's one of the oldest exchanges in crypto. There's an indicator called Bitfinex Whales. Bitfinex longs. So what they do is, the theory is, and it actually is kind of okay, it's a theory and it does work. So the theory is Bitfinex Whales, they have the most experience and the most money and they've been in the game a long, okay? And it's the oldest exchange. And people who got used to there, it's not the best platform to trade, but the people who are there, they're so used to it, they've been there forever that they don't leave. Okay, so the theory is that these guys, on average, have a bit of a survival edge in how they trade and swing and make the right moves because they've been there forever and they just refuse to leave. Like why try to fix something that's not broken? So the Bitfinex Whales, they have been increasing their longs. Now it's not perfect, so I'm showing you this is actually from 110K. So you can actually see right here, you can actually see that 110K, here's where they are, and they're increasing their longs. But we know because this snapshot's ended, like Bitcoin actually went down. So I've actually got some updated pictures on it. It's kind of funny, friends. I looked up Bitfinex Whales. Take it to Mr. Parvital as well. Mr. Parvy Parvs. It's actually hard to find this information. Not many people are posting about it. Why? It's because they're not long. That's why. It's because everyone's sold. They're not going to show you bullish stuff at all. And have you noticed, friends, every single person is using the term relief bounce, relief rally. They're using the word relief. Relief. What does relief means? I'm just telling you, man, the whole crowd, it's interesting to me. If this, watching this friendship play out in real time, I'm going to show you the Wall Street cheat sheet. Friends, when everybody's calling in relief, okay, look at this, part of this. Disbelief on the left. This rally will fail like the others. Okay, so when people say relief rally, they really mean they've decided that it's going to be a suckers rally. It's going to be a rally that fails. Bitcoin will, that's what they think in their mind. Bitcoin between 92 to 102 will make the lower high and then roll over. It's a suckers rally. I wonder what happens, right? So this is an updated chart of the Bitfinex Whales. And it actually can show you on the past, friends. This is Bitcoin's price. So as they start accumulating out here, so Bitcoin starts going up and they start increasing their longs. So they're not perfect at it, of course. They're not perfect at it. But it's kind of funny. The Bitfinex, they closed out their longs here. I think they started closing out their longs into the distribution and then it goes sideways. Okay. So here we are right now as well, though. So here we are right now. They have, and look how big the positions are. This is like the net aggregate of all the whales. Friends, they've been increasing their longs since September. They've been buying the whole way down, the Bitfinex whale longs. So they've really started to ratchet it up here. Okay. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean, it definitely works, but it is interesting just to know that these big dudes have survived everything. They are long. Here it is right now. How they do it. Like I said, it's not perfect. Okay, it's absolutely not perfect. Like here, they got long here, and they start distributing on the way up. Okay, and they got long there. See, as it went down into Trump tariff tantrum, they get long, and they start distributing on the way out. They start exiting out. Here they are again, getting long here as well. So we'll see. Okay, where to from here? Well, it seems like everybody's convinced that the next few weeks will be, all it's ever going to be is a rally that's going to fail. Okay, that's what everyone believes. It'll be a rally that fails, and then and we roll over. Okay, that's what everyone believes, and we're heading much like that's what everyone thinks. I think the jury's still out, especially this channel of friendship. I wonder, friends, if by the end of this month, Bitcoin comes back in here, just like these things that have aggressive wicks, and then we're going to have to battle that out. Next year's year of the horse. There are no CME gaps. Look, I'll be honest as well. I like the fact that there's none of these big excitement going into the weekend. It just like dies. I like that because that's what you want. You want to be like, hey, just die. Because if it can walk back up, it'll be literally the manipulation staircase scamming doom. Also, when we look back as well, friends, what are we going to describe this FUD event of? This is the Minsky index removal FUD. Okay, that's what it is. It's a Minsky index removal. That's what the rumor was, that, Minsky is going to remove the MicroStrategy, and these things aren't going to be classified as ETFs. They won't get any passive flows and stuff out here. Also, it's 4-year cycle FUD. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. We've already covered it. Okay, it's been trashed for 4 years. Okay, what, it's trashed for another 4 years? Okay, bring it. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.